All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Wadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, and peace and salutations to the few and sincere Aquathian out there who truly believe in this gospel, right? So I want to entitle this lesson, At the End Days, or at the Last Days, Perilous Time Shall Come. And I get that title from the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1, which I'll get that in a second. But just thinking about things that's been going on in the world. I don't have it pulled up right now, but saw an article the other day, I believe, talking about how there were 70,000 evictions in Atlanta, Georgia within the past quarter, I think, within the last quarter, I believe so. And which is a lot. That's a lot of evictions. That's a lot of people who now, either don't have a home of their own or, are now looking for a new home, or a new place to live. And, that's most likely because of rising rent prices, the rising cost of living, and just really the rising cost of everything in general, right? We see, gas is actually starting to go back up. This past week here in St. Louis, gas went up another 20 cents. So it's $3.69, which is cheaper than most, but it's still rising nonetheless. And we got the situation where Yellow, one of America's largest trucking corporation, Yellow, has just closed its doors, just all of a sudden closed its doors, shut down. They didn't have enough money. People are lost their pensions. They lost their retirement funds. All these things that have been provided here in Babylon the Great for comforts for the people, we see that they're now being slowly taken away, right? And this is biblical prophecy because, in order for the Lord to set up the righteous kingdom here on earth, right, Esau's kingdom has to be taken down. And one of the biblical prophecies is that, the grinding shall cease, which is talking about an economic crash, which is really going into an economic crash. How people are going to be losing jobs. People are not going to be able to work for lack of jobs. We're going into and we see this, we're going into an economic crash. Nothing is guaranteed anymore. Nothing at your job. Things that were guaranteed at once 30 years ago are no longer guaranteed today. Things that people worked for 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? People worked for, people got with a company. They learned certain skills to get with this certain company so that they could, stay at that job for 20, 30, 40 years, however long that it took for them to retire, build up a retirement fund, have enough money to last them after the age of 65, I believe, until the day that you die. And, people have these retirement plans. They want to travel the world. They want to do this. They want to do that. And we see that those dreams are shattered, right? People are no longer working for those things no more. In today's day and age, really people ain't even really, most people, especially in my age group and younger, people ain't really even thinking about retirement like that. People are, trying to make sure they got enough for next month's rent. You know what I'm saying? Because the rent is not what it used to be. I believe what I believe back in either the 80s or the 90s, man, rent was like on average like $300 or $400 a month or something like that, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Where now it's like the average rent is like, between $1,200 and $1,500. Salakia. Right. So we're seeing these things. We're seeing what this is leading to, and this is leading to these perilous times, right? So let's go here. The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "There's know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High." And this is exactly what we see today. And it's continuing to get worse and worse. Matthew 24:12, for the love of many, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. You know what I'm saying? The things are just beginning to get worse and worse, right? Because people are only worried about themselves. People are only out for their own self-gain. People, they don't care about what affects the other person, how things are going to have a long-term effect on their lives or the lives of others that are around them. People just simply, they just want what they want. They want to do what they want to do. They want to get what they want to get. And, that's just the mindset here in Babylon the Great. That's just how people are and how people think here in America, right? Nobody really cares about anybody anymore or anybody else's well-being. It's all about themselves, right? Because, we can go here to 2 Esdras, 15 and verse 5. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction," right? And this is what, all of these things that we see happening in the economy right now, this is what this is leading to. This is leading to famine, death and destruction, right? Where it's leading up to the point to where, the prophecy the prophecy in the book of 2 Esdras, chapter 16, I believe, where it says that, many shall spoil each other for lack of bread, roughly paraphrasing, right? Because that's the prophecy that, up until the coming of Yahushua, the world is going to wax worse and worse. The conditions of the world and the conditions of the people in the world are going to wax worse and worse until it gets to the lowest point that it's ever been in the history of the earth, right? Until Yahushua comes back, and then that's when the Lord is going to set these things back in order as they should be, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, "Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low," right? So all of these people who are boasting up against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, right? The heathen nations, mainly Esau, Edom, right? And even the 2/3 of Israel, who boast themselves up against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua and his knowledge and wisdom and his order that he set out here on the earth, right? The Lord is going to bring them low. The Lord is going to humble them, right? And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to be exalted. Him, first and foremost, but also his men, right? The Lord's men who have been out here preaching, prophesying, and speaking these things into existence, just as the scriptures has told us to do. They're going to be exalted in that day. Where it says that a man should be a hiding place from the wind, right? Let me find that. Yeah, here it is, Isaiah 32 and verse 2, right? It says, and a man shall be as in hiding place from the wind, right? The wind is talking about the destruction, the plagues, all of these things that we're reading about here in this book, right? And a covert from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, right? So, a man, specifically a man of the Lord, right? One of those chosen elect men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right, are going to be a hiding place from this destruction in these perilous times. Yeah, we're going to still go through it. We're still going to have to go through trials and tribulations and troubles. But, in the end, as it is written, we're going to get the victory. We're going to get the victory in the end, right? Because, we're living in this era where, a high value man, quote unquote, is determined by, your success here in Esau's kingdom. You being a high value man is determined by the standards that Esau has set, right? And not necessarily the standards set by our Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? But in that day, the true high value man is going to be a man of the Lord, right? Let's go to Zephaniah 1 and verse 18, and it says, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land, right? So, it's not going to matter if you're rich. It's not going to matter if you're a so-called high-value man because of your status, money, or whatever. It's not going to matter. Those things are not going to matter because those things are going to be made irrelevant, right? We're not even going to be, money is not going to be a relevant thing anymore, right? For a time, especially when that charagma comes out, you know what I'm saying? And now we see that money is going digital, right? Money is going digital. And, there's going to be a period in time where we're going to have to use digital money. But when that charagma comes, right, when that chip is made mandatory to be placed up under your skin, then, that's really going to show you what the real deal is. That's really going to show you that, hey, this money, we're going to have to, those who truly have faith in the Lord, we're going to have to completely put off, all things dealing with the society and be completely off the grid. You know what I'm saying? Completely, right? Things are never going to be back to normal, right? So this is just something that we have to prepare for, right? And Esau's money, Esau's financial standards, social standards, these things are not going to have any weight in that day, right? Because it's the end of his kingdom. Let me go here. Isaiah 4 and 2, it says, in that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel, right? Talking about the elect, talking about, the elect of the nation of Yasha'Allah, which we hope to be, right? We're going to be those top men. We're going to be those top people. Everyone is going to be looking to us because we're going to be the only ones who's actually going to know what the hell is going on out here. No other people, no other men, no other nations other than the men who have this truth and the 100% truth and truly have faith, are going to be calm in that day. Isaiah 33 in verse 6, for wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And that this wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times. Right? So we got to rely on that. We got to rely on what the Lord has given of us and faith in him. And faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah, right? So that's all I got on that. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Giving our praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem, B'Hakwadash, right? Peace and salutations.